Stephanie Cohn. I'm the curator at the National Czechoslovak Museum Library, and this is Nick Hartman. And we are working on an exhibit for 2018, which Nick has a PowerPoint to show you about it, so we'll get started on that.
So this, some of you may have recognized me last year. I was here pitching this project. So this is actually a continuation of a project that Troy is often nicknamed VR War Train, but it's part of a greater exhibit on World War I called Guts and Glory, the train that shaped the nation. And this is going to be an exhibit that's going through March through December, April through December of 2018. Sort of two reasons for this. First of all, it's the 100th anniversary of what was then Czechoslovakia, which is now Czechia and Slovakia. It's the 100th anniversary of their independence. It's also the 100th anniversary of World War I. So we have two projects connecting to this, surrounding this. And just to sort of give a little bit of a talk, we talked about the train exhibit. This exhibit is going to be different in the fact that it's actually youth and young adult oriented. These kind of say by teens for teens. I know that's corny and cliche, but it's actually true. This is something that Iowa Big students were involved in this last year by creating a virtual reality component for our exhibit. So students, a lot of them mostly from Prairie, from Linn-Mar, have been literally designing a VR experience that will make it look like what it was like to be in a train car in the middle of Russia during World War I. But you're asking, well, why is that important? Why do we need to know about a train car in the middle of World War I? Well, during World War I, there were a group of Czech and Slovak soldiers who, they were all under the empire called Austria-Hungary, and they didn't want to fight for Austria-Hungary. They wanted to join the other side. So they joined the Russians in World War I. Russia then had its own trouble. They had the Russian Revolution in 1917, and then all of a sudden the then now Soviets were on the side of the Germans. So we had a group of soldiers in the Legion who literally, their plan was to go all the way across the Trans-Siberian Railway in Russia, which took weeks and even months back then. Now it's about 10 days, all the way to the other end in Vladivostok, go around by boat to Paris, into France, to fight on the Western Front of World War I. Well, they didn't get that far, and there are a lot of it seems like a very ragtag adventure story. They had a lot of conflicts with many Soviets. There was, allegedly they stole a lot of gold from the Tsar of Russia. There are a lot of sort of legends and things going around them. So this exhibit really sort of highlights and talks about their story, because a lot of them were very young, very determined, and very well-being soldiers. And so this exhibit, sort of the way it's gone is that the group of students last year were using a couple different programs. They have no VR experience going into this. They're working with a program called Blender and a game program called Unreal to literally design an experience like you're inside one of these train cars. These are some of the examples of digital assets that were made last year. One of the cars, if you go back to the picture, a bunch of the different cars, they all had different functions. You may have seen a car a couple slides ago that looked like it was a bakery. There were cars that were ammunition cars, there was a hospital car, there was a bread car, and so the project that, I think Isaac has the access for it, but this last year they worked on basically creating a virtual bakery car so that you could go in and actually pull bread out of the oven using VR. And so this year the goal is to keep working on this project, but also to create storyboarding for this. This is something that we have the tech component down, but we would like to sort of further the storyboard so that we not only have the tech part, but you're telling the story in a way it's very compelling. We're going to have a lot of people who are young at this exhibit, but we're also going to have a lot of people who have never before experienced virtual reality. And I'm 32, and I only experienced it about 4 weeks ago for the first time. So this is an opportunity to be part of an exhibit construction. It's an opportunity to be very involved in STEAM. There's a lot of tech and history and artistry going on at the same time. The other project that's part of this is that once we do this exhibit, our plan is to take it and go around the country or even around Iowa and sort of created in a more mobile format with learning opportunities for not only high schoolers, but also for adults who don't know about this part of World War I. So the other group, the project that we're looking for, which is a multi-year project, is to have a group of high school students help design learning activities around this VR that they think high school students would really engage with, and also the general public. So, Steph, do you have anything you want to add to that? No? Okay. So these are the two projects. I mentioned yesterday that we also have one where we are working with Metro High School on the construction of train cars for our exhibit. We have some students who have also going to be painting those train cars. That was a pitch we made yesterday, but we already have a sufficient interest, so that one's kind of closed. But if you're interested in virtual reality, if you're interested in design, if you're interested in history, interested in also things that are creating things that are relevant to people your age, especially in a museum. You guys are a target audience for museums all over the country. So to be able to help a museum design those things, that would be a really important project, and we definitely welcome you. So, does anyone have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Why is this specific part of World War I so important?
Why is this specific part of World War I so important? Well, we are the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library, so we are connecting what's going on in Europe in World War I. This is part of World War I history that a lot of people don't know about. We often hear about what happened in places like France and Belgium, but on the Eastern Front of World War I, this is a story that doesn't get talked about a lot. And the thing to keep in mind is that World War I lasted 4 years. Most of you are in high school for only 3 or 4 years. So a lot can happen. At least 2 or 3 major empires in the world fell in the course of 4 years. You had a lot of countries in Europe all became independent in 1918. Talking a lot of ones that are still independent today. This was also the First World War, and nobody had ever experienced a war like this. There was a lot of new technology, things like mustard gas, there was trench warfare. This was a mind-blowing thing. People really did not know how to deal with it because it was such a big change. But also, for any of you who are into history, to know World War II, you really have to know World War I. And that's really, really important because a lot of the events of World War I led to the events that led up to World War II. So it all kind of comes together. It's one of those things you really have to dive in and see. But it really shows how history and tech and art and also engineering kind of all come together. And so if you're interested in this project, we'd love to have you at the museum. It was a really successful collaboration last year, and we want to definitely continue that.
Okay, if you have questions, just hold them because we happen to have a mentor here who just stepped down to get a meal in the cafeteria. Scott, come on up here. I'm going to introduce you, Scott Dix. Scott was a virtual reality mentor, come on up here, with this project. Worked with our team of 9 last year. We graduated about 6 of those students, and we have 3 left, and we need to reload this. And what you've heard so far is we need storyboard people to help us tell the story. We need people who want to learn Blender, want to learn Unity. We're going to switch away from Unreal to Unity and tell this story. And then also, how do we get this amazing product, which is run by really expensive equipment in an amazing national museum right here in our backyard, how do we get that out to the rest of the United States? So that's the second project of this. And Scott's going to talk a little bit about just what his experience was working with students and what he saw.
Hey guys, I'm Scott. I literally just stepped down to get some Lucky Charms, and we're talking about the VR War Train, which is awesome. It was a fantastic project to be a part of last year, and I just wanted to reiterate that this year for the team, this is so much more than just tech. There's so much more going on here. I love the question about why is this relevant, why is this important. These are all questions that have come up over the course of the last year. We did a lot of tech work. We were really working on trying to put together prototypes and get things working last year, figuring out Blender. We used Unreal for a little while. We've got some Unity guys in the house now, so we've got some real tech shops at our disposal. But really, anybody, if you guys are interested in storytelling, how are we going to create an immersive experience where people are going to really feel like they're in this thing and not just in some kind of like digital box? And how are we going to bring them inside the story where they feel like they're connected to it, that they're there? So I think that's a true challenge here inside this. So there's so much information, there's so much going on, but we got 2 or 3 minutes to build an experience to bring someone inside of that feeling. So we're not just looking for tech people here, although we need artists and we need programmers and all those things on that side as well. But really, there's a flip side here. So if you're a drama person or you're a writer, you like to tell stories, you love art, these kinds of things. How can we tell the story with all of those things, leveraging the technologies that we have? So it's really grown a lot in the last year because we need all those assets. We need a true team, a creative team to put this thing together. And we have a real opportunity here to do that. So I'd love to work with you guys. If you want to join the team, I'm there for at least once a week for the meetings, and we'll be helping to guide the project forward and bring in some of the help that we have here involved as well. So anyway, that's it. I'm just excited about the year to come. So hope to see you on the team.
All right, questions for any of the three up here? Q&A time. It's a big project, awesome National Museum. What do you want to know about this? How about this question? Do you have to know anything about Blender or Unity or Unreal to be involved in this?
No, you don't. You have to be willing to learn, to have, of course, have patience. Patience is super, super important. You also don't have to really know anything about the history. That's something that you can learn with our staff. We can educate. If it's something that, so it is definitely a learning experience. We don't need any tech experts to start the project. We need people who want to maybe become experts, to become young subject matter experts. And that's what our goal is, to mentor students so that they gain that experience. You guys would have the opportunity to say, before I graduate from high school, I helped design a museum exhibit, and one that may go all around the country. So it's kind of a unique opportunity to sort of bring the humanities together and also bring tech into it so that they all come together.
What else? Anything? All right, let's get it up. Thanks, Scott.